Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day today. So we're going to be doing another foundation review. So today we're checking out the new NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and I'm going to be trying this one in the shade Caracas. So this is actually going to be my first time trying a NARS foundation, but I did also pick up the NARS Sheer Glow, and I am going to be doing a follow-up video to this one where I'm going to be comparing these two side by side to see if it's even necessary to have both of these in your collection. So stay tuned for that. But for today, we're going to be focusing on the Light Reflecting Foundation. So we're going to go through our usual routine. I'll give you some details about this. We'll try it on, we'll wear it for the day, and we'll see what we think about it. So before we get started, if you're here for the first time, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. On this channel, we do a bunch of makeup videos that cater to the 40 and over crowd, but makeup lovers of all ages are welcome. So make sure you subscribe while you're here. I would love to have you join, and I would really appreciate your support. Okay, y'all, let's jump right into it. Okay, so here is the new foundation. Again, it's called the NARS Light Reflecting Advanced Skincare Foundation. So this is supposed to be kind of like a skincare makeup hybrid type of foundation. It's now available at Sephora for $49, and it's available in 36 shades. And again, I picked up the shade Caracas. So this is supposed to be a medium coverage foundation with a natural finish, and some of the highlighted ingredients in here are biometric oat, which improves clarity and reduces the appearance of redness. Also, Japanese lily turf, which supports a strong skin barrier by helping to maintain moisture. So that actually sounds like something that'll be really good for those of us who think about premature aging. Also, cacao peptides and milk thistle, which minimizes the negative effect of blue light and environmental stressors. So let's get started with applying this so we can see what we think about it. So I'm just gonna shake it up. I always like to shake up brand new foundations. It's really liquidy. I can definitely hear it moving around, and it does come with a pump, which is great. Let's do a quick hand swatch really quickly. So I did have to pump that out quite a few times for product to come out. So that actually looks like it's going to be okay. One thing I forgot to mention is why I picked this shade, and I know that this is going to be redundant information for some of you, but I always like to talk about this for those of you who are new here. So I do have a pink undertone, so I always look for that when I'm searching for a foundation, but quite often I can't find that in my complexion range. So if I can't find pink, I go for warm bronze or warm golden, and I stay away from yellow and olivey undertones. So the reason I never tried a NARS foundation before today is because I just never thought that they had a good shade for me. This one looks like it'll be okay though, and it's described as a neutral undertone. So quite often neutral undertones tend to be just too neutral for me, and they come off looking kind of dull, but this one actually looks like it might be okay. So let me just wipe this off of my hand so it doesn't get all over the place, and let us try this out on my face. So I'm gonna start off with just a pump of the product. That's very liquidy, and I feel like I need to just go in with a little bit more because that wasn't a whole lot. So the pumps are not all that big. I'm gonna be blending this out with my Merit Beauty brush. I'm really liking this brush. And also, for those of you who are new here, I don't wear foundation primer, and every once in a blue moon I will put on a primer, but I never try new foundations for the first time with a primer. I like to see how the foundation is going to perform on its own without the assistance of a primer. So right off the bat, so this is supposed to be a medium coverage foundation. I'm so sorry, I forgot to zoom y'all in. That's the second time I did that, but this is supposed to be a medium coverage foundation, and I feel like it's not giving me medium coverage just yet, but I can tell kind of like by how this looks, I think that it will build up to a medium coverage. I think I got pretty good coverage for the amount of product that came out with those first couple of pumps. And so far, I'm really liking the way that this is blending out, and I'm also liking the way that it's laying on my skin. So my last foundation review was on the new Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I was just really happy with how that looked on my skin. I just put this foundation on, but so far I feel like I'm liking this better than that Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I think it looks really nice so far. So we're going to say that's about one layer, let's say one pump of the product. So this side has foundation on it versus this side that doesn't have anything on it. I think it looks really nice. I think the color is okay too. Maybe just like a smidge too dark, but I think it looks fine. So let me put some on the other side and then we'll go back and see if it builds up. Now, I don't know if it's like the formula of the foundation or if it's this brush, but so far this is blending out really, really nicely. But this brush does a really good job of blending stuff out really fast. But I feel like I'm not really doing too much, not doing too much work to get this foundation to blend out. It's just blending out really nicely. Okay, so this is about one layer of the foundation all over my face. Let me know what y'all think about the shade. I really don't think that any other shade is going to match me as well as this one. This one looks like it's just a little too dark for me, but I think it's fine. Like, I can definitely work with it. And remember, I still have to put on like highlighting concealer and all of that. But let me know what y'all think about the shade. But more so, let me know what you think about the foundation. I think it looks really pretty so far. Like, so far, first impression, I do like this better than that Charlotte Tilbury foundation, and I loved the way that the Charlotte Tilbury foundation looked on me. I think this one looks just a little bit better. So let me know what y'all think. So I'm gonna go back onto the first side and we're gonna build it up just a little bit, or we're gonna see if it builds up a little bit and gives me any more coverage right up in here. Okay, so I just squirted it everywhere. So I'm just gonna have to I'm gonna have to squirt it like on my finger and just kind of dab it on my face. That's a little bit more than I wanted to put on, but it got kind of messy when it squirted out. Thankfully, I didn't get any on my sweater, but it got kind of messy, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna see if I can show you how it squirts out so you can see, because I think that this is kind of messy. I did get a little bit on my shirt, but not like a whole lot. All right, I'm trying to wipe off the little bit that I got on my sweater, and I feel like I'm making it worse. So let me see if I can show y'all how it squirts out, because the squirts are like so small. I'm hoping y'all can see this, but do you see how it's like really small squirts? So it's like, let me see if I can show y'all the amount of product. I hope y'all can see that without me blinding y'all. But just be careful when you squirt it out, because it's just gonna kind of squirt like everywhere. So just be careful with that. So this is a little bit more product than I wanted to use, but that's fine. Yeah, and it definitely builds up because that pretty much covered up almost everything else that I had left on the cheek that was showing through. So you guys know that I really like buildable foundations because I think it makes the product more versatile. Like, you can use the same foundation for light coverage, or if you want to build it up for more coverage, you can do that too. So yeah, this one builds up very nicely, and it looks like even when you put more product on, it covers more, but it doesn't look any more cakey or anything like that. Like, to me, it looks like I have the same amount of product on both sides of my face in terms of how it's laying, not in terms of how much it's covering up, but in terms of how it's laying on the face. Like, adding more product doesn't make it look any more cakey, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a really nice buildable formula. Let me put some on the other side. So I'm going to use my finger instead of putting it right on my face. I'm so glad I didn't get the shade. I think it's called Bellum. I think that's the next darkest shade from this one. I started to get that one because that has a red undertone to it, which works better for me compared to like neutral undertones, but I can tell that Bellum would have just been way too dark because I feel like this one is just a little a little bit darker. And it actually, to me, this doesn't look like a neutral undertone. To me, this one is looking a little reddish too, but that's working in my favor. So okay, so this is what the makeup looks like freshly applied, and I'm gonna wait for about a minute or two and we'll see like how the foundation sets down before we do the rest of my face. All right, it's been about 2 minutes, I think. This is what we're looking like. And it set down like just a little bit. Like I feel like when I first put the foundation on, it looked a little bit more wet. Now it still looks kind of glowy and healthy, but you can tell that it's like set more obviously than it was like a couple minutes ago. So let me know what y'all think. I really like it. I do feel like I like this better than that Charlotte Tilbury foundation. It definitely was a lot easier to blend out. So I feel like this one it's definitely a thinner consistency compared to Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm guessing that's the main reason it's easier to blend out. But also I just like the way it's sitting on my face. Like I really like it so far. So I'm going to quickly go through the rest of my makeup and then we will start our wear test. And then later on today I will give y'all my final thoughts. So per the usual, I'm going to go through this kind of fast because I know that y'all like to see it, but it's not really the focus. So I'm going in with my Kevyn Aucoin concealer. This is what I use as a little bit of color corrector under the eye. And then going right on top of that with a little bit of my Anastasia concealer. So this one is more so to give me a little bit of brightness under the eye. And I also use this to highlight and brighten the center of my face. And I always take my residual foundation to blend my concealer on the chin and the forehead. I just think that that helps those two colors blend in together better. And then I like to switch to a more dense brush for the corners of my mouth and under the eye. I'm setting just my under eye for now with my Kosas powder. This one is the shade Pillowy. And then before I set the foundation, I'm going to go in with a liquid blush and bronzer. So I'm using the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Believe. And for my bronzer, this is the Say Beauty one in Deep Bronze. And for as much as I like this, I feel like I can't remember the last time I used it. But this is like my favorite bronzer right now. And I'm just taking some of my residual foundation to soften the bronzer back out on my nose. And now I'm going to go in and set the rest of my face, and I'm using that same powder that I used for my under eye area. So whenever I'm putting on like cream and liquid products on my cheek, when I set my foundation, I like to just go around the blush and bronzer first. And then I'll go back and set those areas just so that I don't like accidentally pick up some of the pigment from the bronzer and the blush and like get it on my foundation. I'm going to take just a little bit more of that same powder and I'm picking it up on the brush that I used to set my under eye, and I'm just going to put like a little more powder right on the sides of my nose. I always forget to do this, but I've been wanting to see if this helps with wearing my glasses during the day. And I feel like that kind of slightly took away from my bronzer, but that's fine. I'm gonna go into my Patrick Ta palette. This is what I have on my eyes today, so I'm just gonna tap into this to give myself a little inner corner highlight. And I feel like picking a lipstick is like the hardest part of doing a makeup routine, because I spend so much time trying to decide like what lipstick I'm going to use. But I'm going to start with my NYX lip pencil in brown. And I wanted to use a lip pencil that's more of like a reddish color today, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to use this one. And I'm going to use the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Maple Kiss. It's kind of like a coppery, oh, I have foundation all under my nail, good grief. But anyway, this shade is kind of like a coppery, definitely like a warmish brown color. Okay, and here's our look for today. I always put everything that I'm wearing in my description box just in case you're interested. So one more look at the foundation before we start our wear test. I really like it so far. And I think this shade is pretty good. Like maybe I should try, I wanted to try the NARS Soft Matte foundation when it came out. But again, I just didn't try it because I just never thought that NARS had a good shade for me. But maybe I should try that one. So let me know what y'all think first impression wise. I think y'all already know my thoughts. I really like it so far. So let's hope that we have a really good wear test for today. So I always try to go for at least 8 hours when I do a wear test on a foundation, but I just stop it when I feel like I've gotten to the point where it's time for me to like blot off excess oil. So we'll see how long we can get through for today. So it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. So I will see y'all a little bit later on. Okay, so it is basically 7 o'clock in the evening, so I believe that puts us somewhere around 15 minutes shy of an 8-hour wear test. So we've basically done 8 hours today. So this is what my face is looking like. So let me know what you guys are thinking. And I'm sure you can see the shine that I have going on in my T-zone area, but I consider this to be very minimal, especially for an 8-hour wear. So I am very happy with the way that the foundation wore today. This is definitely one of my better wear tests. I know we're now into 2022, but I think all of last year, because I did review a good amount of foundations last year. So I think out of everything that I reviewed last year, everything that I reviewed in recent history, I would say that this wear test comes in second to the Tower 28 tinted sunscreen. And outside of that, I don't think that I've had another complexion product wear as well as this one. So, but even if I have, I mean, I'm really satisfied with how this wore today. So the last test that we're going to do is I'm going to quickly, I feel like I don't even have to blot off the excess oil. So I usually blot off excess oil and then I repowder. But let's just go ahead. I was just going to repowder without blotting, but let's just go ahead and blot because I do like to see if any of the makeup pulls off when I blot. So I'm just going to take a clean tissue and I'm just lightly blotting in my T-zone area. But like I said, I feel like my shine is like minimal for me for an 8-hour wear test. So I actually think that this looks good enough to where I don't have to bother putting on any more powder. Like I think that I have just very, very minimal shine going on my forehead, but I think that this looks fine. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. So let me know what your final thoughts are on this new NARS foundation, but I would definitely recommend it. I'm very impressed with how this performed on me today. And this is actually gonna be going in my like everyday makeup, like my everyday foundation stash, like the ones that I wear most often. I think you're going to be seeing me wear this quite a bit going forward. Now, if you haven't already tried that Charlotte Tilbury foundation, and I keep referring to that one because that's the most recent foundation launch that everyone has been talking about. So if you haven't already tried the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, I feel like this one is a better bet because this one, at least in my experience for today, this one wore a little bit better. I think it applied better, it blended out better. To me, it just overall looks a little bit better than the Charlotte Tilbury one, and it definitely lasted better. So today we made it to 8 hours. Charlotte Tilbury made it to about 6.5 hours before I had to blot, and I was shinier than I was today. So this one wore very well on me for today. So I would definitely recommend this if you're thinking about like one over the other. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I am going to be doing a follow-up video for this. So you're going to be seeing this one on Sunday. So probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to be trying this one out again, and I'm going to be testing it side by side up against the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. So make sure you're subscribed and you have my notification bell turned on so you won't miss out on that. So if you like this video for today, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.